Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L coming in to talk about Full Dive, the horrible video game. Here we go, episode 6 and 7, we're covering both of them because I didn't do episode 6 last week, and I really think doing 2 episodes a week makes things a lot easier for me. But yeah, I gotta say, halfway through episode 6, it became better. It's unfortunate that it took 6 episodes to do so, but halfway through episode 6, Hiro, the main character, he became actually kinda tolerable. And I'm okay with it. Overall, I'm looking at my notes here, I didn't have that many for episode 6. Yeah, I I like this. I like that it took 6 episodes, but this tool got his act together. That's what I wrote. Yeah. No, just a quick recap on it. Episode 6, I'm not really gonna talk too much about it. Because it's not really that big of a deal. Like, the big thing is that once he gets his act together, it seems like the world just aligns for him. He's able to make peace with his friend. He gets that very aggressive flashback to clue him in on information that the story should have given him from the beginning. This is a horrible game, and not even just... I think, like, there's just so many problems. That was nice. That was really nice that once he gets his act together, he's actually a reasonable person. Who would have thought? And then that reasonableness is carried through into episode 7, which is really the best thing ever. Like, when I'm looking at him in episode 7, honestly, I'm happy to finally say, "Oh, Hiro, you poor anime character." I'm happy. I'm finally there. This guy is finally palpable. Now, the thing is, with episode 6, it is kind of jarring. It's like you snap your fingers and there he is. He's now better. He's now a basic anime isekai character. He is now as likable as, or like almost as likable as a basic anime isekai character. And it's like, alright, I kind of feel like this came out of nowhere, like this just happened so quickly. But whatever. Let's see. Other little notes I had here. I had Hiro as an absolute moron. You absolute idiot. Did you not watch Osamake? Tell her you love her. Right. This was in regards to that one moment with the childhood friend where he was trying to figure out what exactly he should do to stop her. He thought, oh, let's grab her boobs. God. No, you should have just told her you loved her from the beginning. Mind you, he does do it eventually. And I believe episode 6 was also the episode that had like a little bit of the fighting between Inquisitor girl and childhood friend, which I thought was pretty alright. Let's see, my last note for episode 6, Reona is still the worst. Yeah, that is very true. She is very much still the worst. But yeah, for episode 6, I actually thought the bit with his friend was quite lovely, and I liked how into the thing he got. Again, it's unfortunate that it takes 6 episodes to get to the point where you have a likable character that most other anime have at episode 1, right? That is pretty unfortunate. And the thing is, like, if you're gonna do an unlikable character like Hiro, like at least give something of interest here. But the thing is, in this anime, the stakes are low, and we'll talk about that as we go into episode 7. Episode 7 goes off of where episode 6 ends off. And episode 7 I have quite a lot of notes for, as it was pretty much my rundown. As I'm watching the episode, I'm typing away furiously. For episode 7, I don't think there are problems with Hiro anymore. I think, listen, the isekai character archetype works for a reason. It's because if you throw in a generally agreeable guy, it makes the whole process much nicer to watch. And it makes it harder to criticize the guy for being stupid, because then you're thinking, well, he's stupid, but at least he's a nice person. And Hiro didn't have that going in. But in episode 7, I think the budget nature of this show really comes out. And what I am referring to is specifically, this town is under attack, but I see it is so serene. It is such, there are some shots in this thing where I'm just thinking, this is stupid. And I think I have a little bit of a rant in there. So for episode 7, my overall impressions, honestly, Hiro is fine. I think the anime is let down by the cheapness of the production, because now it's an issue of the scenery isn't conveying the fear of the moment, and like even the composition of the scenes with the townsfolk running past Hiro are just horrible. I don't like the way it looks of these people running around. It honestly looks like it's someone's budget project or like someone's project at high school. It's not well done. I don't really catch the frantic nature of this. I imagine if this was adapted in a manga, the manga would be much more chaotic. But here it's just like a bunch of people standing around and then being willing to listen to a guy ask his question fully before pushing him aside, and it's like, no, it's dumb. It's really dumb. I feel bad because like at this point, this isn't the story's fault. That's the anime production's fault for not selling you on it. Like heck, put a smoke filter over everything. The place is on fire, and there's just it doesn't really make sense, and there's just a lot of spots here. The degree of the situation just isn't being maintained, and if you want to talk about it, this is a light novel, right? And light novels are not very good at describing things. Usually, they're not very good at describing scenery. Now, you know, it depends on you. If you don't care about scenery, then you obviously don't care about having an arena described. But in the West, description of your surroundings is a little bit more appreciated when you come into writing and all that, unless you have a specific genre. Like for instance, well, actually, no, in fantasy, you're expected to have bigger word counts because you're explaining things that people have never seen before. But the issue with an adaptation in particular, when you're looking at, say, adapting a bare bones novel into an anime, what are you going to do if the author doesn't describe the scenery well enough, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to create the scenery if you're the animation staff. You have to get in there. And at that point, you would hope that maybe the manga went in and made something amazing when it comes to the scenery. Like, for instance, when it comes to shonen anime, like, they're not going to have this problem because most of the time, unless you're Bleach, you have your backgrounds really well drawn. Like, One Piece, you'll never have that problem of the anime staff not knowing what to draw. But here, you can like it's always with the light novel adaptations, there will always be some kind of weirdness going on with the scenery because the scenery not being described makes it a little bit harder for the staff. And combine that with what I think is legitimately a bad budget, or like a low priority production, and you get the things that occurred here later on. But let me just very quickly go through my notes here. One of the first things I wrote, how did Reona not know there was a drought for 50 years? That seems like such a plot relevant detail. So my exact criticism there is that at the very beginning, Riona's like, oh yeah, I've never seen an event like this. Like, and then she's questioning how the goblins could be attacking when there's a moat. And then the guy's like, bro, drought, that moat is like pretty weak. It's gone down. And my impression on that is just flatly, Reona, you've been playing this game for who knows how long because you have that weird little character arc with this game, and honestly I really hope to see you fail. But you have that weird character arc. How are you not aware of the reality that moat is going down? The townsfolk must have you know so much about the backstories of these NPCs. These townfolk must have talked about the fact, oh, you know, that moat's going down, this is kind of scary. Because that guy wasn't surprised. He kind of just says that this is just a natural consequence of the 50-year drought. Right? I don't know, man. When there's a drought going on, heck, I don't even live in South Africa and I know there's been a drought going on. I know that South Africa has some water issues. I know quite a few places in the States are also conserving water while Nestle just hogs all the water in a reservoir or something. I know about these things and I'm not even there. I just hear it over the years. How did this person not hear about the situation, right? It just kind of breaks it for me, and it just makes me, like, Riona's just the worst still. Let's see, my next comment was, funny goblins are attacking and none are around. Right, so the goblins are attacking, there's fire in weird spots, like there's fires, I think, on second story buildings, and there's no goblins around. Heck, in the episode you only see 2 goblins in total. Right? I'm not believing it. It's not really selling it for me. Let's see. Goblins have ogre-like strength even though they're small. Sounds like they're more dangerous. So this is when Reona just says that, don't fight goblins, they're like ogres, and I'm thinking, who was the idiot that made goblins as strong as an ogre? The idea of this game is that because it's like real life, it's gonna be shitty, right? But then there's just bad game design, and this game honestly does have a lot of bad game design. I just don't understand in what world you think it's okay to give the goblins ogre-like strength. Like, if they're small and they're strong, that really sounds like they're even worse than ogres, because being small makes it hard to hit. Yeah, no. No, that was stupid. This is, like, chalk that one up to just horrible game design. I don't think anyone that worked... I don't think... I think this is just the author. I think the author... No, there's no way. There's no way the author doesn't know how to balance out enemies. This must be intended for the game to be bad, but it's just so annoying. Then we find out about breaking the guy's console. So this is like specifically the penalty to losing the game or dying in the game. Honestly, I thought that was pretty funny. I got a funny note about that at the end, though. I thought that was funny, and I thought, yeah, okay, that's a fair consequence. I really thought it would give him some kind of weird pain, but that's a really fair consequence. But the part that I really loved was finding out that people sued, because people most certainly should sue. But the way they presented it at the beginning, before they went into like the crowds of people, I thought that was a little odd. For instance, in the newspaper, they said suing a video game company ? And it's that question mark. That question mark like really annoyed me, because like I feel like in the novel they probably tried to berate it a little bit, and it honestly sounds like they tried to berate it. But video game companies get sued a lot, and video game companies sue a lot of people, like Nintendo famously. Nintendo has won a lot of video game lawsuits. Also, interestingly, Nintendo got sued, and they did lose a lawsuit in the States. This was back in 2017, and they were to pay $10 million in damages. Now, mind you, Nintendo tried to appeal, and I don't know where that lawsuit went. But I don't think you should be writing a question mark and like downplaying suing a video game company. And like the excuse the anime says, like, oh yeah, you know, they just threw their money around. It's like, yo, you can look, this anime can say what it wants and try and like hand wave, oh yeah, whatever, money, but this is serious. Like, there's real life precedent. This isn't just something you can hand wave that easily. No, video game companies can and will be sued. Mind you, if you're saying that they settled out of court, they still had to pay up money, right? My question is, like, were they saying that they were able to use their money to get like legal, get strong lawyers on their side and like quash the lawsuits, or were they able to just settle out of court? Either way, they're losing money, but in one situation, people get compensation, right? And here's the next one. But yo, man, this is pathetic. A single street, no fire, no chaos. Come on. Yeah, no, what I'm referring to here is specifically where the girl is crying, and it's like, okay, this girl is crying. She's out in the street. I really wonder, how do these kids end up in the middle of a street, like smack dab in the middle? How do you not end up at the side? Are you just always walking down the middle of the street? That's weird. Walk down the side next to the building walls. So yeah, you see the one little girl. It's a perfectly fine day. The sky is sunny. There's no clouds in the sky. Not even a goblin around, not even a troop of goblins. It's just a nice day. Everything looks great. There's doors. You could probably just jump into the alleyway. But yeah, no, this is where the anime production lets it down. That's just stupid. Come on, at least put a smoke filter on the sky. Like, there's fire. Come on, man. Crap, who makes the goblins have instant movement speed? Right, so this is when the goblins began their attack on the guards. First, I think it's extremely stupid that you have 3 guardsmen and no one thought to go and pick up the child and run away, while the other 2, I don't know, hold it off. Anyway, you have the goblin, and the way the anime presents it, it's like this goblin is as fast as sound. The guy doesn't even notice he's been slashed. Okay, you have a goblin that can move that quickly, right? Actually, let's hold on to that one because I have the next best note. The boxer is by far the best thing thus far. Honestly, what was he called? Shoot, what was his name, man? Shuhei? Was it Shuhei? Shoye. I don't know. He was cool. Probably the best character in the thing thus far. I thought it was really funny that I think this game would have worked well for extremely competent people. You get people who are athletes, and I think they would really appreciate this game. Anyway, the boxer made my day. Let's see. My next comment was, man, to Spider, I would just keep the piss pants on. This is referring to when Reona was complaining that she can't take the ammonia. Yeah. Reona sucks, man. Like, she's just absolutely horrendous. Even in this episode where she's still trying to scam the guy out. She even makes that comment about him being a lolicon, and I'm just thinking, Reona, you're 20 and you're hitting on a 17-year-old. You used your assets to try and get a 17-year-old to do something for you. Yeah, alright, sure. Anyway, this is stupid. The goblin dashes like a madman on the guards, but then it can't catch a child. That was stupid. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculously stupid that you have a goblin show a feat of speed, only to then have it struggle catching a child. It was able to approach guardsmen without them noticing, so much so that we just see limbs flying off, and then it can't catch a child. Seriously, come on, that's stupid. Come on, why? That's trash tier. That's nothing worth taking seriously. Why take that seriously? My next comment. I like the guy turning into the Flash. So this is when the guy uses his God-given talent of running fast and runs fast. Except he runs super fast. So I actually like that. We've seen this before. You know, some games will use a person's natural ability and it'll translate into the game. A good recent example, I think, would be Bofuri, or, you know, like the Shield Girl, pretty much. In that game, Shield Girl kinda, and then her... What was it? Her friend Sally? Sally is hardcore at a bunch of stuff. And I think Sally was able to use some of her real life skills in the game. And that... Yeah, that gave her a distinct advantage. So the trope itself isn't that uncommon. And honestly, seeing it here was pretty neat. That's now given our guy a unique capability. And it fits into the whole idea of really competent people being the ones to excel in this game. My next comment is, this is a really pretty town under attack. You can guess what that was about. Oh, my next comment was, the child looked like a frog. This episode at points did not look that great. And that girl's face, I think her eyes were too far apart. I think someone was pretty off model when they were drawing that. Let's see. My problems with Hiro have pretty much dissipated. This is towards the end of the episode. So at the end of the episode, Hiro is having a nice chat with his friend. He's actually having a full conversation with him, and I thought, this is good. And the friend makes the comment that, yeah, Hiro, you might actually like this game. And I think so too. Like, Hiro seems like he's a little bit of a masochist. So I actually really enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed seeing that he's becoming well adjusted. And then he goes home and he's even dealing with the walkthrough better. I think this is what the character should have been from the beginning. You could have had him be a person that listens while also having the character flaws. But I know, right? Writing that kind of nuance, probably out of this guy's pay grade. But when it comes to that whole little walkthrough option, I have to say, I was 100% in. I especially loved the dig the hole option. That was an amazing option, because in games I'm always thinking I can just dig a hole and hide, right? And in a lot of my personal survival plans, a lot of my plans end in dig a hole and hide. So I'm really happy that this worked. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. But then they said but then they say, like, oh no, the option that Hiro has taken, joining as a mercenary, is like the worst, hardest option. I'm like, whatever. Now the thing that throws me off is that Reona has never seen this event, and this is going back into the stupidity of this game. Riona's never seen this event, and this is a multiplayer game, and this guy is talking about these options. He's talking about the goblin event, and in that same town, in the same instance that Hiro is in, you have the drunk gout man also playing this game. My question is, Riona's never seen this, but Kamui has seen this before. He knows about the options. How in the world are we going to be in a situation where the gout man has never seen this event either, even though he's been playing the game for so long? Seriously, is this what we're doing? Are we saying that like, I would like to know how Goutman saw this event. Can he actually see the event occurring? It's just odd. It's such an odd situation, and you know what? I might just be missing like little details. Like I'm gonna assume I'm missing little details, but it's just, it throws me off. In a massive multiplayer game, they're talking about this kinda like there are it just kind of feels like there is some instanced events. Like, I'm just wondering, how often does the goblin attack happen? If another guy shows up after Hiro and he goes through the same process that Hiro went through, is the goblin event going to start up again? and then is that guy gonna have to go through it while Hiro is in the same town? Like, right? It doesn't make sense. And then the thing that makes it worse is that other players can interact with the NPCs. Like Goutman, like when he got Hiro caught by the NPC guards. It's just, yeah. My last comment was, so now they're setting the stakes as a destroyed console. So I was gonna really make fun of this. I was like, okay, your console is on the line if you die. Here's an idea: never log in again. But I went and I checked the price that Reona was upselling, and it's like $1,000. So I was gonna make fun of it, but $1,000 is quite a lot. Like honestly, I would sue. At that point, I would also try and sue just to see if I can get anything out of that. So you know what, $1,000. It's pretty much $1,000 on the line, and your entertainment's on the line. So I guess those are good enough stakes, but they're pretty pitiful. It's pretty lame. And Reona still sucks. She's a horrible person all around. Still trying to play up the whole thing. But yeah, that's my thoughts for Full Dive. Do I regret what I'm watching? Nah, not really. Not anymore. It makes me feel alive. Like right now, my make me feel alive trio of anime is Full Dive, Higehiro, but Higehiro's the good one, and Osamake, which is... So yeah, you know, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. At least for Full Dive, at least I like the character now. At least I'm okay with the main character. And you know, this was a really interesting episode because my two previous favorite characters for this show, the two NPC girls, they didn't show up. So I was really surprised that this guy could actually carry the show. Oh, you know what else is stupid? This little girl, she's being surrounded by goblins. He's trying to run away with her. He puts her down, and she's like as calm as a butterfly dancing over flowers. She's like, "What? Hey, mister." And it's like, you absolute idiot. Like at this point, you don't even deserve to live. Like no wonder you got caught in this situation. But yeah, overall, if I was to give the final thoughts here, I would say main character is greatly improved, but I really think the budget of the show is letting it down. The reality that's being depicted in the show and the reality that I'm being told is being depicted are clashing, and it makes it look pretty cheap and just pretty crappy all around. Yeah, no, some things here are a little bit trashed here. I'm not a fan of changing the capabilities of a monster just to make the plot work. That's pretty lame. Because at that point, it's like anything can work, and it's, you know, I'm not watching a cartoon. I'm watching something that is a serialized story. So guys, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you thought down below, and till next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.